And now, stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball Podcast.
Hello, I'm Mark. Welcome to another edition of the Talking Basketball Podcast.
Hello, I'm Paul.
It's going to be a good show today. This is number 2 we're doing of the BBL update.
This has been a mental week.
It has been a mental week, hasn't it?
A great week for the BBL.
Well, again, another week of enjoying it. How are you finding it?
Well, do you want me to just crack in with my pointers, Mark?
Let's go in it. We're doing a top 5, but I said I've got a curveball for Paul that he doesn't know about.
Wonderful.
We always do a 5, and then we do one on the bench, don't we? Whenever we're talking in our interviews.
Yeah.
We have a 5 and a +1.
Yeah. So you got a +1.
So we've got to have a +1.
Have you actually got 5?
I've got 5,
Okay.
but I've got a +1 as well.
I've actually got 6. I've got 5 and a
look
main.
who's done his
I've
homework.
got 5 and a main. Anyway,
No
I'm going to go
starch,
straight in at my number 1, and this deserves Sheffield Sharks, Mark. They played their first game at their new arena, the Cannon Medical Arena. It was a historical day for the Sharks playing their first game, and it was live on YouTube. It was live on YouTube. Have I just said one of your points?
You said one of my points.
Well, you know, that was your number 4. That was my number 1. So, and they were playing. They didn't just win their first home game on this court. They didn't just win it. They beat the most decorated team in British basketball history, the Newcastle Eagles. And they didn't just beat them, they beat them 86-56. Now, you could argue Newcastle had just come back from their European tour, which wasn't overly successful for them. And, you know, Sheffield beat them. First game. What a great way to start. They're 3 for 3, and they're up in 4th place in the BBL standings.
That's not a bad way to kick it off, is it?
I feel this guy needs a shout out because DeVille Ramsey, he put his name in the history books, Mark, because he is the first person to score at the Sheffield Tank.
Oh, is he?
Now, I don't know if they're calling it the tank. I just said that because I think that sounds cool. The Sheffield Shark Tank.
The Shark Tank.
He scored at the Shark Tank.
Hang on, isn't that a TV show?
I don't know, but it sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, Mark
at
Cuban's
the tank.
on it. Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. Well, so
if you haven't named your stadium already, Shark Tank, come and talk to us. We'll let you trademark it. Yeah, I saw some highlights from that game. What do you think of the stadium? I know we've touched on stadiums briefly.
Well, now what I did, I actually got a picture of the stadium to show you. There you go.
Yeah, it's exactly what you love, isn't it? The aircraft hangar.
Lovely, lovely. It is one to go and visit for sure. And you know what? Yeah, I watched the game and, you know, just breaking down the Sharks. They all played their part. But, got to be said, I don't know how to say his surname, but Captain Bennett, how would you say that? Cooch? I feel like I have to be careful. There could be a few different ones. Anyway, he was just, especially in the first quarter, just dominated. He ended the game with 13.3 rebounds and 1 assist and 2 blocks. But, yeah, what a game that was.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. It was, so I saw the highlights because they're not all on Sky, are they? Or if they are on Sky, some of them are on YouTube as well. The games. I think
all the games are on live on YouTube. Again, Mark, this is my number 6 point. I
don't care. You literally stole one off my sheet, and you almost tried to steal the second one. So I'm actually going to go and say my one now. But that was a good one. And
can I just say the MVP of the game was that went to, who was it? RJ Ethelrock. He was 80% from the field.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
He wasn't the first to score though. That's got to be a good thing.
Well, that's why I mentioned his name because I thought, well, you're the first one to score. If that was me, you know, my name's in the history books. Brilliant. I'm happy. I could be
first person to score professional. That's very cool.
You know what?
Caretaker was probably realistically the first person to score.
Well, all the builders. All the
Yes,
builders.
the builders, they got
First
straight
person score in a
You'd do that as well, wouldn't
BBL game. But look, I've got to mention it as well because I'm trying to promote the BBL here. Sharks now taking on Sunday. They're back at the Shark Tank, Mark, taking on the Caledonia Gladiators.
If you do have a different name for it, please get in contact with us, but feel free to use Shark Tank.
No, yeah, by all means.
You're going to
Use
keep
the
calling
Shark
it the
Tank.
Shark Tank from now on.
Yeah,
right?
the Shark Tank.
The Shark Tank.
Um,
Are we going to have a name for each of them?
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, if it's not called the Tank or the Shark Tank or something like that, I'd be shocked. But yeah, look, Sheffield Sharks, we haven't talked about them that much, but they were bloody impressive. First game, you would kind of expect it, but yeah, brilliant, great to watch. Yeah. So you want to talk about Sky?
No, my first one was actually going to be about Newcastle, which is a bit of a nice segue.
Do you need, what are you going for?
I'm going to go for a... Not really. I'm going to have a round of applause for their first ever game in their safe stadium. And then a round of applause for me. No, I'm going to go talk about Newcastle, but to do with the ENBL.
The European game they play.
So I know it's not BBL, but one of the good things was that they had managed to get into there. And you did hint on it. They weren't particularly successful. Lost to a buzzer beater.
Did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's the main thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There was basically a bad call. It's actually quite big news. So,
is it?
Yeah. They basically, I think.
Why was it a bad call?
I think it was a 3-second call. They got it wrong. And then afterwards, once they'd come home, the league contacted them and went, yeah, we made a bad call.
Wow.
So,
well, look,
I'm not going to dwell on the score lines and stuff, but
fair play to the league saying that was a bad call. Well, they're not saying it was. They're saying
it was an incorrect call. You shouldn't have gone out.
But are they? They're not doing a replay, or they're just saying, look, that's just going in history books now.
It's it was all to do with. You can have a look there. It will just basically say, "Oh, he ain't got his reading glasses." But short version, the call was made. And, I just thought I'd bring this one up for you, actually. Previously you did some reffing. You make a call, you're going to get it wrong. Everyone's human. I get that. In a game like that, first game of the ENBL, to get through somewhere, now they're knocked out.
They're knocked out? No, I think it's a table. They're in a table, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but they're down the ditches, aren't they? It's already not helped them. So, to say... Unfortunately, we conclude the refs incorrect called the 3-second violation on Newcastle, and that would have actually not been a restricted area, so they wouldn't have lost, basically. So wow. What do you do in that scenario? Because in all sports, you have, it'll be in the rules, perhaps, I guess FIBA will know this, but in lots of sports, if someone has, in athletics, people have lost their gold medals in the Olympics and things like that because... misdemeanors there and thereabouts or after. But ball sports are different, aren't they?
So what is your question?
Well, my question is, from a refereeing point of view, now that they have said, look, we made the incorrect call here, and that literally affected the end of the game because it was a buzzer beater. Surely, in that case, does it not get overturned?
Well, yeah, that's why I said, are they going to replay it? No. One...
They've just said, that's it is what it is.
There's a couple of things here. So, it's not just one ref. I'm assuming they're playing 3-man. They've got 3 referees there. So, not one referee has made the bad call. The other 2 haven't corrected it. Or whoever was in charge out of those 3 has overridden. Whatever. We're just speculating now. But it's not just on one person, it's on 3 referees here, yeah?
Yep.
But the call's now been made, so for the league to turn around saying, that was a bad call, now imagine you're those 3 court officials. You're like, oh, right, the league's now just come out and said we're doing bad court officiating.
Yep.
They might be amazing referees, you don't know. So that kind of surprises me. I don't maybe they could have contacted the club and told them, not a big press statement. I don't know. That I just find that a little odd.
I mean,
you don't hear that in the NBA, do they? Saying
No.
that referee is terrible. They generally in sports, and I don't know if this is an unspoken rule. It definitely is as far as referees are concerned, where you will kind of bond together. So it's an unofficial rule, I think, in England that another referee should not criticise another referee.
Really?
Yes. Between the refs. Now, it obviously does happen, but you're not supposed to. You can do it around other referees, but
Never knowingly upset someone.
Not someone who is not a referee. Yeah, turning around saying that referee is awful.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine, and when you listen to games and you're watching it and you clearly see a bad call, we've been in the NBA where you even see the referees looking at each other, pulling faces, going, "That was a bad call." You can see it. But when you hear the commentating, they're going, "Well, that was the call. That was," and they don't question it.
No.
So
if it's home court advantage, you wouldn't.
For the league to say, I mean, a lot of our association is with English basketball and American basketball. So maybe in Europe they do it different, where if a ref makes a mistake, they're just like, "That's a mistake. What's going on?"
Well, I mean, it was BC. I want to say it's Šiauliai, but I might have got it wrong. But it's Lithuania, and it's the Lithuanian team, and they were playing away in Lithuania. Now, 94-92, losing at a buzzer beater because of a bad call.
Yeah, that's the
the problem.
tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And the one thing, and I'm trying to be fair to referees here, what I think people don't appreciate is referees have to make, like in football now, the referee can have the backup of people watching TV cameras and going, "Right, guys, you might have made a bad call there. Just go back," and they go, "Okay, I'm going to go look at the TV." In basketball, I know you can do that, and in the NBA level, I don't know if you can do it at this level, but it is a split second. Bam! I need to make a call immediately. A second later, you're going down the other end of the court. Something else is happening. That play is gone. Like we're talking
100%.
We're talking milliseconds, like where they have to go. So those refs who, excel at refereeing, to make one tiny mistake, it's, I kind of go in. It's part of the magic of basketball, really. The history, we could talk about that, or Newcastle could be talking about that for the next 20 years, going, "We got robbed." But that's part of the history, part of the magic, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a shame. I think that's a real shame. I just, what can you do in that? I just wondered from a ref's perspective, can they go back on that and say, I mean, they've awarded it at the end of the day.
It depends on the league awarding body, I'm assuming. But for the league to come out, that's I don't know, that's weird.
Anyway, it was some great plays and there's some really good basketball in that game. It's definitely worth a watch. So, commiserations to the Eagles. But as you say, it is the NBL. It is moving on.
And I know, you're considering supporting the Eagles. Have you got those 1,000 emails come in yet to say Newcastle Eagles for you to support them?
No, not yet.
Are we getting close?
We're closer than we were last week, but we still need more.
Okay. Is Newcastle the number one so far?
Actually, it's not.
Oh, who is it?
I'm not going to disclose that. That might be unconscious
So you're only
bias
gonna
and
do it.
influence people.
Only going to do it when it goes 1,000. You're going to go, it's bam. I'm going to get your jersey.
Do you know what? I'm gonna. Everyone listening knows basketball, and everyone listening has seen the basketball drill known as suicide, where you got to run quarter, then half, 3/4, and full court. So I think it's only fair I do it in the same thing. So once I get to 250,
You ain't got the 250 yet.
no,
Listeners, come on.
Yep.
Send him a Newcastle Eagles email.
No, send me what team you want. When I get to whichever team gets to 1,000 votes for that team, I'll support them.
Well, there we go. There we go. Right. I am going to do this jingle for this one because I want to talk about the Surrey Scorchers, Mark.
Do it.
Now, I've watched a game, I've watched a couple of highlights, and I'm feeling for the Scorchers. And I want to talk about it because they had what can only be described as a bloody good and close game against Cheshire Phoenix.
Yes.
They lost by 2 points. previously to that, they were away to Caledonia Gladiators, lost by 7 points. Then they were at home previous to that, lost to Sheffield Sharks by 3 points. They've lost their last 3 games by 11 points.
11.
If you take those 3 games, 11 points is the total of how many what they've lost the games by. And I'm feeling for the Surrey Sharks because I want to tell them your win is coming because they're losing by so small margin. Their win is coming.
Who are they again?
The closest team to us, the Surrey Scorchers.
Why do you call them the Sharks?
Oh, it's because we were talking about Sheffield. What did I say? Surrey Sharks. The Surrey Scorchers.
They blend in the team now.
Wow. They sorry, it's because I said they lost to the Sharks in their 3 games ago.
You can't take it back.
But I just wanted to say, Surrey Scorchers, your win is coming soon. You hang in there, and I want to go there and I want to show my sport. I like the underdog. I like the Surrey Scorchers, Mark.
You do?
Yeah, I want to go and watch your game, and they're the closest to us.
Yes, that is very true. They are the closest to us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a good one.
And you know what? Talking about underdogs, I just would like to do this for you, Mark. Well done. Well done, Mark. Because you did do some research and you went and looked up Pat Riots.
I did.
And you found that buzzer beater.
I did find the buzzer beater, yeah.
For those who don't know who Pat Riots is, he is a legend. The legend in the BBL. Pat Riots is the mascot of the Plymouth Patriots.
Yeah.
And he hit that buzzer beater. A buzzer beater. He hit a granny style launch from the halfway line. I couldn't find it on the podcast last time, and Mark sent it to me. There you go. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's good.
Do you agree he's a legend?
I think it's a great mascot.
He is a very good mascot.
Very, very good mascot. One of the stronger ones that I've seen so far.
I think there's a few reveals coming soon.
And for those,
well?
you know what, I'm going to say this. A lot of people might think it's a bit strange, 2 40-year-old dudes talking about why we like a mascot. But unless you've gone to an NBA game, it's fair to say, you don't appreciate what the mascot does. And I think you'll agree, that's the standard. That is like the ultimate standard of where a mascot would be. There's some mascots in the NBA, certainly, and a lot of people will know who they are. They are entertainment. People would go to watch just what's the mascot getting up to for the whole evening.
Well, Orlando Magic stuff. He is the
Phoenix Gorilla doing his dance.
The bench line. He is the mark. You get anywhere near that, you're doing well.
Yeah, basically they're a mix of a comedian and a gymnast and a daredevil and stuntman, and it's everything. But it's really nice to see that some of these BBL teams are adopting that, because it's not always there. Anyway, is it on? So you've done that. It's on to me now, isn't it?
Yeah. What kind of jingle are you going to go for, Mark? For your point,
I don't know. I'm going to do this one again. I like that. We did talk about, that unfortunate incident with Newcastle. So let's look at it on the flip side. Let's say one of the BBL teams that did do very well, and that's the London Lions. They were playing Venezia in the Euro Cup.
Ooh.
So it's outside. Don't know if you knew about that. But again, why don't we know about it?
Yeah.
It wasn't massively publicised. There's some really high scorers, and what I liked about it was it got me to dip my toe into the Euro. So I'm not saying we're going to just suddenly go off and do a Euro thing, but have you seen some of the games and the way that they play some of the games out in the Euro Cup and stuff?
I've seen highlights like anyone would, but I've not invested, if that answers your question.
I'll tell you what, their stadiums.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's next level.
I mean, we're talking 2000, they're talking what, 15, 20?
Yeah. It's and they are loud, and there is fire, and there's a brilliant clip. I think I sent it to you the other week, and it resurfaced again, and it's from Jokic,
Oh, I was literally about to say that, yeah.
And someone says, go and check it out if you haven't seen it. It's actually on our Instagram, I think. And he says, oh, it's like, how you like it with the team shouting him? And he's like, yeah.
No, there's, are you worried about the other team shouting you last game?
He's like, man, I played in Serbia. And it's like, really? And then you see the crowds and it's like,
yeah,
fireworks going off.
It's a football crowd, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a football crowd.
Absolutely amazing. But going back to London, anyway, 76-69 they won. So that's really good, you know. And it was against, I've got to get this name right, so I'm looking at this. Umana Raya Venezia. And that was at the Copper Box.
Wow.
So it's nice to have a home advantage. And I do wonder how much of the home advantage you get playing in sort of games like that.
Well, I mean, if you've got, I think the Copper Box is what, 6,000?
6,000.
6,000 people cheering you on.
It was looking pretty full.
You know, you get, at the Portsmouth Force, you get 350, and that's can get quite loud. You got 6,000.
So I'm thinking of it in the flip reversal. On the other teams, they would have been used to some of the, you know, maybe a crowd of more than
I see
6.
what you're saying.
So they might have been used to a crowd of, say, 10,000 people. So then going into a crowd of, say, 5,500 or so, you go, oh, it's a bit different. It's a different atmosphere.
But sometimes that's more intense because it's more intimate. So, you know, I don't know if that makes sense. A bit like Fratton Park, you know, if you looked at someone like Jose Mourinho and he says, you know, talking about Man United and they're saying, look, this is Man United crowd are huge. And he's like, look, go to Fratton Park.
Oh, he did that interview, didn't he? Yeah.
You know, sometimes the smaller venues are more intimate and you do get that, you know, louder culture.
That's what I mean. That could really play an advantage for a home advantage, because
it'd be good to go to Copper Box and see what kind of atmosphere they get.
Wow, listen, we want to dangle that carrot out there, and if any of the people in the media are listening, we want to come to the stadiums. We want to come and not only look around, but hold a podcast and hold some interviews and have a chat and introduce the world more to the BBL. Because we got loads of listeners, by the way. Total segue, but
I mean, I try to stay away from that side of thing, but yeah, what is it now?
It's almost,
7?
No, almost 3,000 people now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what? 3,000 people listening to me talk now?
Yeah. Not quite, but yeah.
Hello. 3,000 people. I don't know why I did that, but felt like I needed to.
You feel good now?
Yeah. 3,000.
That's why you sit away from the buttons.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's really good, and that's really good to see, you know, BBL teams being represented in Europe. We've got obviously going out in the ENBL and in the BBL, but it did make me wonder. You don't see NBA teams going off and doing too much stuff outside of their loops, so to speak.
Well, they have their tours, don't they? And they have those games, but
that's just to go get money.
You know, that's the beauty of Europe, because Europe is so strong in basketball. You can have that Champions League, the Europa Cup in basketball, and it's like imagine a Champions League in basketball. You're going to be getting what? Barcelona, Real Madrid. Just think of all the teams. I mean, the Eastern European teams, there's going to be a load of them as well. You could argue that, I don't know whether to say this or not. You could argue it's a higher standard than the NBA.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because
we're opening that can of worms.
I don't know. Maybe. Look, the world champions are currently German, Mark.
Yeah. And before that, what country were they?
Spain, was it? Yeah. So, yeah. On this side of the world. Right. The jingle, I'm going to go for this jingle for the Cheshire Phoenix. Now, I know you talked about this team, and the BBL have just given Kevin Cadle, head coach for the Cheshire Phoenix, the Coach of the Month award. So, you know what? There's a lot of talk about what he's done in the off season. And Cheshire actually lost a lot of good players. You know, you had that guy I showed you, Larry Austin.
Yep.
And, you know, he's tried to replace a team, and he recruited, what's he called? Ian Ray. Ian Ray has just got BBL Player of the Month. And he's replaced these guys. He's got them working hard on both ends of the floor. They're a physical team, hard-working team, moving the ball really well. And they beat Leicester Riders, which was a huge shock up, right? They didn't just beat them. They beat them by scoring 110 points.
Yeah. That was an emphatic win.
And you know what? They're setting the standard. And even though they're 2 for 2 in the league, but you know what? It's a team to keep your eye on. And, the other thing about the RN Ray, he is a difficult player to guard, because if he's playing against a guard, he's quite a big guy. He can go down low with him and push him around a bit.
Yep.
But if there's a big guy marking him, he's quick enough to go up and run around up on the top of the key and stuff like that. He's one of those tricky players to guard. So, he's just won Player of the Month. That's Aaron Ray. And Kevin Cadle, Coach of the Month from the BBL.
Yeah. That's very good. That's a very good one. I like that. So this is one that we both talked about, but I'm going to steal it, quite frankly.
Wow.
It's actually to do with the BBL itself. So we're going after the BBL.
We're going after them?
Wow, not quite after them. Maybe that's the wrong word.
Trying to critique them, is that what you mean?
Yes, give them some constructive feedback.
Yeah.
How am I meant to find out what games are coming up? What games have gone on? Where are the fixtures? Everything is, you've got to go click into here, and you've got to go click into there, and put it up at the front. I want to see what's coming up next. When you go on the NBA and you look on their app, you can see these are all the games that are coming up for the next week. And
depending on what side they're on, it will say London Lions at Leicester Riders.
And you can hide the scores on it.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on that. Sometimes that has really stitched me up because it's logged off, and when I've logged in, that button wasn't ticked. Regardless of that, that is how you do it. It's simply, that is the benchmark. That's how you have to do it. People want to if you want to log in and see where is my team, how did they do today? And I think this goes sort of deeper. I've actually got it as a second point, but the way the BBL's done, it looks so polished. The way that some of the games are, some of the media, some of the websites, all that stuff. It's polished, but it doesn't seem to get out to the right people.
Yeah.
So
no, I know what you mean.
The communication out to people, that's the gap that's missing. And look, my background's sales marketing and stuff, so maybe it's just the way I am interpreting this. Obviously, BBL, if you want me to help, by all means. But seriously, I think there's a lot of people who, we had someone recently with our local team where they hadn't maybe communicated some fixtures, and there were people who didn't get to a game because they didn't know a fixture was on. And that was a small local league team. So when you go fast forward this up to, this is supposed to be the Premier League in the UK. Who's up next? What games did you play this week? What were the scorelines?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because when I've gone on the on the BBL website, you see the last week's scores on the top.
Yep.
But when I was looking up this point for the Surrey Scorchers, I remember thinking I watched the game, so I knew them lost, and then I thought, well, hang on, didn't they lose to Sheffield? And it was a close game. I went, let me go and look at that.
Yep.
And I had to really go and dig for it to see what the latest results is. And
Yep.
I actually found, if you Google it and then go to fixtures, it's a lot easier just to do it in Google than go on the BBL website. But I would even go as far as, even once you click into the teams, to get that score, it's a little bit difficult. So I've been following all the teams on Facebook and stuff like that, and that was a lot easier getting the information from that.
Yep.
But I do know what you mean. But in fairness to them, and you're talking about marketing, you haven't got the BBL coming up on the news,
right?
Compared to
I type it in now.
Golf.
I type it in now. I get that. That's the old logo. That's not the new logo. That's the old logo. That's what's coming up in hits.
Yeah.
Why is that? And then you look down, and once you get past all the butt lifts and everything, then you finally find it, and you go, okay, this is it. I'm looking on a phone right now. This is not some witchcraft, or I'm on a... You go, yeah, it all looks lovely, and usual pop-ups we've all got to get rid of.
It's not a logo that's cached, is it?
No, it's not. It's not a logo that's cached. But that is literally, there we go. You go, oh, there's some standings. There's some teams.
I think the main thing was the result. It was looking at previous results.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I struggled to see.
Yeah,
I do like their news bits. They're really good. But I would love to see the BBL getting attention like you do. I'm even going to go far to say this, and I apologise if I irritate any of our 3,000 fans or followers, whatever it is. If it was even shown like golf or darts or tennis, it would get bigger. But you're not going on Sky Sports News and seeing, oh, BBL, here's display, boom. Like when you're in America and you're watching NBA, all the news channels have got the basketball and just like for the highlights. You don't get that. And it's when you see what's going on, you think, why? And I was surprised because Sky Sports are saying, yeah, we're doing this. Put it in Sky Sports News a little bit. I bet it's on the. I bet they put it on the ticker tape, and that's it. Put the highlights.
Oh yeah, okay, we can do. That's one of my other. That's one of my next ones I'm going to moan about. But I just think that for me was a bit of a frustration because I thought when we want to do this, and we want to do this, we want to talk about the BBL, we want to promote it, we want to because we're actually really genuinely excited by what's going on in British basketball at the moment. And so that's why, this has all started off and people seem to be very interested in it. But we don't follow a team at the moment, it's fair to say.
I'm following 10 teams.
But because we don't follow a team, we want to see the table, we want to see the fixtures, and we want a way that you can do it. Now, if you go on the NBA's website, and if you go on Eurobasket, and you look at lots of those leagues around the world, the league is the driver for all the information. If you want to know about your team, I don't go on the Orlando Magic's website or the Dallas Mavericks website or what's on what LA Lakers do. You go to NBA.com.
Or the NBA app.
Yeah. So this firmly sits.
The app on the PlayStation or something like that, isn't it?
It firmly sits with the BBL. But yeah, so there we go. There's my gripe for the week.
Wow.
Over
Mark, this could have been my number one.
Ooh.
I have found a player that I think is awesome.
Wow.
And I wasn't a huge fan of the logo of the Leicester Riders, but the more I've watched them play and the more I'm kind of warming to it. And I watched a game where they took on Newcastle Eagles. And this was, when was this? Oh crap. This might have been a week ago.
Yep.
This might have been last week, but Leicester went away.
So we're on week 3 of the BBL at the moment. So I think that was week 2.
Okay. Well, I watched that game and Leicester took on the Newcastle Eagles and beat them in Newcastle 92-85. But the one thing that stood out for me was Leicester Rider, number 3. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. How would you say that? Is it Murren or Mayan?
Yeah. Mayan
Thomas. Mayan Thomas. He scored 17.7 rebounds. He could have got 1 assist or 2 assists, depending on what stat you look at. But I tell you what, Mayan Thomas, go and check out his highlight reel for this game. He is my kind of player. He does a lot of work inside, but he bloody can step outside and hit a free if he wants. He didn't stop scoring. He had 3 or 4 big dunks. Nice. Yeah, it was just he was up, he was fast, he was quick, he was just my kind of player. There's a couple of plays as well where he drove in, boom, outside for someone to hit the 3. I just went, wow, awesome. So I want to go and watch a game in Leicester now. Funnily enough, I am in Leicester in about 6 weeks, so I am going to go and check out the Riders. That's for you, Mark. But also, one thing I did want to say, in this game, if you've not seen it, check it out. I want to talk about Caleb Asbury, Mark.
Okay.
He did probably the greatest block I've seen this week.
Yeah, I know.
He did a huge block on a guy called, what was his name? McGill. So this guy's going up on a fast break, he went for the layup. If you slow it down, he goes for a layup. And if he dunked it, it might have been a different story. I don't know if McGill can dunk it. I don't know. But this guy, Caleb, he came in and just rejected the crap out of it against the backboard. McGill falls to the floor. Huge moment. The other team, then fire back down the other end of the court. The one thing I loved about Caleb Asbury, and it was such a shame the camera moved, he did this block. The play swung back. McGill's on the floor, and Caleb Asbury is just looking down at him like, yeah, that just happened. But the camera kind of was on him as he was doing it, and then moved to Caleb, and then went to McGill, and then went back down the court. But it was a great moment in that game. And if you got a spare 2 minutes, go and check out the highlights of the Riders versus Newcastle, because you won't be disappointed. But mine, Thomas, number 3 for Leicester. What a player. What a player.
Yeah. I think it goes without saying that a lot of the... I'm going to do it with my... This is my number 4 point. Another week. It's the second week in a row. Obviously, this is the second week we've done this. The standard of basketball is really exciting to watch. And I actually did genuinely do some homework, and I did write down 4 or 5 names. And it just got to the point where I was like, I'm going to be calling every single person out, because I was just really enjoying watching it. You nicked my dunk, but I actually had some people, some names. I'm going to call, these are some of the ones I'm going to call out. Oh, here we go. Josh Sharma, who's a massive centre. That was it. Just great ball movement. Great playing. The other one was LaQuincy Reader. So I apologise if I got the name wrong.
Cheshire player. Yeah, I saw a few of his. Yeah, he's a good player.
But the pass that he did you see the pass? It was, he
was the player I said you would like. Okay,
yeah,
here we go. Number 3.
Boom!
Look at that. No look pass down low. Nice.
It had a bit of the Jason Williams mixed with the kind of, I want to say the Luca-ish, but yeah, loved that. That was a nice one. And also I enjoyed watching it because it was in that nice blue stadium. But the one in the Plymouth one, there was some moves being played down in that game, and that was, I believe, Plymouth versus Cheshire again, wasn't it? I think. It was against the Flyers. But Nick Lewis, giant shot from not even just close to the arc. Check this out. Here we go.
Oh yeah, Nick Lewis. Yeah.
I'm giving them a call out for that.
That's against London.
Yeah.
That was the game I'm actually going to talk about here.
Oh, brilliant. But I liked it because he just pulled out and I thought, what? No. And it went in, and the confidence he had afterwards, it just made me smile, because I thought, you're playing against the team who, let's be fair, London at the moment are romping away with the league.
I mean, would you argue and say the league's over?
No,
they're 6-0. They're 6-0, and they're strong. They're on 12 points. The closest to them are 6 points.
They're strong.
They've doubled in points to anyone else already. 6 games in.
They are strong. There's no question of that. But we're week 3. That's all I'd say. Look at.
And the games are close. They are winning them, but they're winning the games by 3 points, 6 points, 4 points. You never know, do you? You never know.
Well, when you look at the fixtures as well, it goes back to my fixture comment. One of the things I put down was about the amount of road games that went to the home games, and the way in which some of the things are splayed out for London. So they've done well, but actually they've done quite a few games in the copper box. So it'll be interesting to see as they start travelling, as they go through the season. It's only early October at the moment in 2023, for those who are listening at another time. But sure enough, when it gets to January,
I hope so.
And I don't wish any injuries or any ill will on any players or anything like that, because that's just a sucky way.
You just want it to be exciting.
You want it to be
close.
Yeah.
For the neutral. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Well, in the same way that you're saying Surrey Scorchers, you look at their stats and you go, the way they are in the league does not affect or it does not represent how they're playing and the standard and the quality. It's just at the end of the day, someone has to be at the top of the league, someone has to be at the bottom, and other people have to be somewhere in the middle. That's just how it is going to be.
The games I've been watching so far, and this is just my interpretation of it, you've got London,
Yep.
and then there's maybe another category of three teams, and then you've got the other teams.
I'd probably say like Newcastle and Leicester, maybe Cheshire as well, are probably those other three teams in that small band that we're fighting for second, third, fourth.
Yeah, but there's a jump up for London, and I don't know if that's on. Are they spending more money on players? I don't know, but it feels like there's a big gap there.
Well, BBL salary caps came off last year, so
I think it's gone to 2.5 million is the gap now.
Really?
Sorry, that's a cap, I think.
On the team.
Yeah.
Because it was 200.
It might be by player or team. I'm not sure.
It was 250 grand per team.
Oh, so I think it's 2.5 million now.
Yeah, so it's gone 10 times.
But talking about the London Lions, when I watched the game, Matt Morgan, he was the one, number 33 for the London Lions, stood out. He was quality. But the one thing that really stood out for me, and you mentioned his name, when London took on. You were talking about Nick Lewis, so
Yes.
number 93 for the Manchester Giants. So, like I was saying, so what was it?
I love
I'm
their.
just trying to think.
I like their yellow kit, by the way. I know it's a random thing to say, but I love their yellow kit. You don't often see a yellow kit.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you. It was the Manchester Giants. They're one of the clubs I'm really warming to. Again, when I first saw the logo, I didn't really like it, but it really is. It's really growing on me. I love the name, the Giants. The stadium looks great. The arena looks great. But so if you haven't seen this, Mark, and our listeners, if you have not seen this, you need to look this up. Now, Nick Lewis, you just talked about that shot he hit.
Yep.
From near the halfway line.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something else he did in that game.
Do it.
So, just to highlight Nick Lewis, I don't think he top scored in the game. I could be wrong. I don't think he did. I think he was second, but he scored 24 points and got 7 assists. But the bit I want to talk about is when Nick Magic Lewis drove inside. He jumped up with 3 London players around him, and he did what can only be described as a Magic Johnson pass and dished the ball down to legend Robertson, who then dunked it. And I just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, bloody hell, that's like freaking magic there. Like, let me get this, because you are literally going to go Magic Johnson as soon as you see this. Just trying to get this for Mark. I actually saved it because it was so awesome.
Yeah, it's the funny thing now, because I started writing notes and then I started saving things on the phone thinking this will be quicker, but it does take us longer to do. Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, I loved it. It's a real seamless move, isn't it? And you know what? You just showed me that clip.
Look at that.
Like, show me that clip.
He got round one, and 2 jumped up. Gets round 1, 2 jump over him, bam. I don't know how much of that legend Robertson knew about that.
We'll take that clip. Any of the clips that we're talking about today, we'll put it up there. We'll get them, stick them on our Instagram.
You know, that moment was one of my favourite moments of the week. It would be up there again with. I
love the block
with Merrin Thomas's highlights,
yeah.
But that dish off, just boom. I was just like, if he was taller, I would say he's got to officially be called Nicholas Magic Lewis. He's got to be called Magic. That's the first thing. Anyway, so that was great to watch. Great game. But what I liked about it, even though I know we're saying we want the league to be closer,
yep.
especially at the top, but Lions only beaten by 5.
Yeah.
So they're not walking away with it.
No, they're not. They just seem to have, I don't know if it's the extra depth or whatever it is. They've got something, haven't they? But the talent pool across the board is fantastic. And that leads me to my next point.
Oh, what's this? Wow.
This is a big shout because you segue quite nicely with the Manchester Giants. Did you know that they'd signed one of the guards called Matt Goodwin?
No, I did not.
No one would necessarily, unless you follow the league. What people don't realise is Matt Goodwin's 18 years old, born in 2005.
Oh, wow. And he's just got into the BBL.
He plays for Team GB. So he was a GB junior.
Wow.
Played, and then now he's gone.
Sorry, did you say he's a point guard?
Yeah.
Just guard. Jeez.
Yeah. So that's hence
He's
the
got to
round
be
of
good.
applause. Massive respect for that. I'm sure he'll get some minutes as the season goes on and everything.
If he's GB, yeah, of course he will.
Well, yes, I think he's obviously just turned 18, or he's 18 in a bit now. So he's old enough now to play in the league. But he's been playing for men's, I think, under 18s GB. And now he's stepped
What was his
into
first
playing.
name?
Matt Goodwin.
Matt Goodwin. Oh, I have to remember that name.
But he plays for the Manchester Giants.
Well, Matt Goodwin, I want to see some of your highlights.
Yeah.
Come on, show us your stuff.
But I loved that. I just read a little story and it's like, yeah, obviously he's moved up now and, you know, like anything, he's an 18-year-old kid. So let's be realistic. Unless you're 6'9" when you're 18 years old, you're going to step into the league, you're going to pay your dues, you're going to have a couple of years, like anyone would in the NBA or Eurobasketball or anything. When you're 18, you're a young man. You're not.
Oh, sorry, this is for Manchester you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, welcome to the conversation.
Sorry, for some reason I thought he was a London Lions player. Yes, Manchester.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and watch him in about 5-6 weeks. I'm going to go and watch Leicester versus Giants.
Well, Leicester.
I will tell you.
Is that in Manchester or in Leicester, isn't it?
No, it's in Leicester.
It is in Leicester.
So I will. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And then obviously we want to go up to Surrey as well.
We want to go Surrey. We want to go everywhere, ideally.
Definitely
want to go to Caledonia.
Yeah, I'd like to go to every home arena.
Well,
when you say there's 10, you think, I can't. That's not that much of a big deal.
No, it's not. And if everyone's listening who is part of those teams and would love to let us get involved, or if you've got a media team, put us in contact and we'd love to come up there and we'd do a podcast live there and interview some staff, people, players, whatever, make a day of it. We don't mind.
I will throw something out there now.
Oh, no.
I will put on a kilt if we go to Caledonia Gladiators.
Dude, I'd put on a kilt.
I will go and get, my Scottish ancestor colours. I think it's the Bell Clan. I'm going to go put the Bell Clan on. Boom. Go to Caledonia.
Yes, you do. You do have clan colours.
Right.
Awesome. So I thought that was really good. Because do you know what? And this is the bit that excited me the most. Obviously, massive respect to Matt being under 18 and being able to get into the BBL. But what I really loved is that showed a pathway. Because we've talked about in some of our other stuff, we've interviewed coaches, we've interviewed people who deal with youth teams. But it's never always clear what's the pathway. And in the NBA, it's very clear. You go to an NBA college, you go to an NCAA college, you do well, you get put in the draft. Okay, they are looking at some European places nowadays, but still fundamentally, it goes back to if you want to get in the NBA, the quickest way or the best way for visibility, go to NCAA. But how do you get in the BBL? There's no obvious path for that. Or there's no clear one that anyone's announced.
I'd imagine they're scouting through the local leagues or something, aren't they?
But again, it all comes back to reach and followers and the know. If you said, does anyone watch or follow the BBL? Most people probably don't. Oh, no, who's your team? Oh, it's the NBA. People who support NBA teams and don't actually even follow them. So, actively. So it's just really, really nice to see someone who's come through the youth ranks and then he's gone up and he's actually now not only playing for GB, which obviously great job, but also doing something really, really exciting in the BBL itself.
Wow, that's brilliant. Well done. What's his name again? Matt Goodwin.
It is Matt Goodwin.
Nice. Matt, this is for you. And we said in one of the, I think in the last show that, we were talking about Sky Sports and stuff like that. So
Yes.
I have got the next fixture, which is Friday the 13th Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Someone's in trouble. Friday the 13th is...
Yeah, that's not a day I want to play on.
London Lions. They're at home to the Cheshire Phoenix.
Oh, really?
7:30 tip-off. 7th. So you want to see some BBL basketball, Sky Sports. And this is the only thing I don't really understand. It says I've got Sky Sports Linear. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that means it might be on any of their like 30 channels. I don't know. But yes, Sky Sports Linear, or it'll be on the YouTube channel. You can watch it. So get your laptop or whatever hooked up to the TV. Boom, big screen BBL action. But yeah, this Friday is the next one that Sky Sports are putting on. I have got a little fact for you as well, which is, and this is where I think the owning one of the teams and owning the league could help as well.
Yes.
Sky Sports. I'm only talking about there's 15 games from the start of the season until the end of December.
Yep.
15 games. 7 out of the 15 are the London Lions home or away. I get it because, you know, they're the best team in the NBA. In the BBL, everyone wants to watch them. It's a bit like Manchester City, isn't it? Everyone wants to watch Manchester City and Arsenal, so they're the games. Just a little part of me just thinks if you want to expand the league, you want to maybe, I don't know. All of the teams are on there.
Yeah.
They're all on there, but, you know, 7 out, you know.
Well,
48% or whatever it is, 45% is.
let's be honest, BBL are in bed with Sky because of the money. That's what it's not unfair to say that. It's why people get paid massive salaries in the NBA. I think the NBA is the highest paid.
I would like to be in bed with Sky as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where football gets all the money from. The money isn't from turnstiles. The money isn't from people buying shirts and stuff like that. When you're in the small leagues, when you're in the lower leagues and stuff, that stuff is vital to a team. But when you look at, you know, income from merchandise for, you know, one of the NBA teams, for example, it's peanuts compared to what they get. Like their salaries don't even get covered by the merchandising in the stadium seats. It's like so far off. It's unbelievable. Well, so all the money is for advertising.
Talking about merchandise though, Mark.
Yep.
Go on the BBL website. Go to the teams.
No.
Go to the shop.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Some of the merch is good. I was on the London Lions one today.
Really?
They had like this cool like varsity jacket. I think it was like for a girl, but I was like,
God,
man, come on.
One of them for ages.
Get if I can get a guy varsity jacket with a big owl on, like copy, like, you know what Beverly Hills Cop, what Axel Foley wears. Do that for the London Lions.
Yeah, it's like a Letterman jacket.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I was looking at some of the teams and the merch looks really cool. So at some point this season, I'm going to get a shirt or two. Yeah.
A shirt? I thought you meant one of those jackets.
Well, I'll tell you what. If they have a jacket, one of those Letterman jackets, I might be tempted. But really? I was really impressed. I was like, wow, that looks very cool. Very cool.
I'm going to totally have to have a look at that.
So, Mark, that's my list.
That's your list. You're done.
That's this week's list.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, so my final one. Because we've gone through all the other bits. My final one, I'm going back to the BBL again.
Do we need a jingle?
We can have do you know what? This is the jingle. I think it would be.
Oh, you're throwing it out.
It's probably this one here, I think.
Oh no! What are you gonna say? Don't do it. Don't do it. What is it?
I still don't understand the BBL.
What do you mean? British Basketball League.
I still don't understand it. When you go on their website, there's like a league and then a cup, but then there isn't a league and a cup. And then when you go onto their stats or when you go to look at something, those pages haven't even been updated. So I don't know what I'm looking at or what anyone's playing a game for. So I know we've talked about fixtures, but it's sort of going a bit deeper than that. I don't understand the BBL. It's like you said before, it's a pyramid of one, and I get that.
What do you mean you don't understand BBL or the website is difficult to go around? What are you saying?
The website, it looks great, but it isn't user-friendly. But it's actually the layout of it. You have a cup that I believe is going to be squashed. Is it this season or next season?
Oh God, I can't remember.
There's three. There was
remember.
three things.
Oh, they're
now
getting
there's
rid
two.
of. No, yeah, so you got the league, the championship, which then turns into the playoffs. So you can win the championship and you can or the playoffs or both. You can then the BBL trophy is like the main cup, and then the other BBL cup. My understanding is I think they've either just got rid of it or this year is going to be the last one, and it's going to turn into an all-star.
Yeah, because you go onto their site and there says standings, championship standings, or trophy standings.
Yes.
Yeah. So I go.
Oh yeah. So
I go
the
into
trophy standings. You got last year's.
I
results,
go into
haven't you?
championship standings, and it's like, okay, well, what's that mean then? Because they haven't played 36 games.
That's last year's. There is a drop down at the top that you can change the year, the season. But I know what you mean. It's a little bit more difficult on the phone. On the computer, it's the drop down's a lot clearer.
Yeah.
There you go.
I did it, but it just. My point is, it's the same thing again. It goes back to that previous thing. It's not user friendly, and you're trying to encourage people to follow it. So, I just still didn't understand the championship and the trophy. When you say, okay, they're playing this game, is this a championship game or is this a trophy game? I mean, under trophy, it's got the 2023 things. It hasn't even got anything 2023, 24 up there. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't add up to me. But it's not a very clear path. Everyone's playing these games. London are running away with it. Great. What are they winning?
In the league, that will be winning the BBL
But there's
championship.
nothing there. That's a championship. Okay. So what's the trophy then?
The trophy is like the cup. It's like the FA Cup. And then the one that's called the Cup is, I guess, like the Carling Cup.
Yeah.
But I think, and I could be wrong with the there might be a few actually. There is one trophy where everyone can play because, you know, Portsmouth were just in it playing the Plymouth Raiders and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if that's limited to NBL Div 1 down or if that includes the BBL teams and they come in later. Don't know. Mark, this is stuff we need to find out.
So I don't know if should they just get rid of that because this is a league of 10.
I think that's I think very it's embedded in our history. So NBA, they don't have a cup, but they're looking at like the Champions League and all of that going, we should have an NBA Cup now. So they're kind of looking at going the other way, going, right, maybe rather than have an all-star game or something like that, maybe we should have an NBA Cup tournament that everyone goes in. And they were talking, I think at one point, letting European teams play in it as well.
Yeah, but having a Eurobasket thing where you'd say, like we've seen the ENBL, and you've got at the moment, obviously, London Lions with their win. Those are European championships where you go, well, the best teams, you're going to come out here and you're going to play against the other best teams in Europe. That's a Champions League, isn't it, in football?
Yes.
Well, look, I understand that. I don't like football. I don't follow football, but I understand that. But I still don't quite understand it with the BBL in the context of the other things.
I think because it's a small league as well. Imagine that doubled and then the playoffs turned into North and South.
Well, you've already
You would then have more context that you would be familiar with to the NBA, wouldn't you?
Well, you would. And the problem is that although the NBA isn't the be and end all by any stretch of imagination, I think there's some better. I think better basketball is played in other countries by far.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as
think there's better basketball.
Yeah, and I would say, as far as crowds go, there's like Europe. It beats all of them.
Oh, the atmosphere is intense. I mean, you could talk about college basketball. That would be similar to the European thing, then, wouldn't it?
Minus the fireworks. I mean,
yeah.
it was one of these.
Oh yeah. So who's that? Oh look. I mean, basically, Mark, show me. It's an arena that's Eastern Europe. Every single person in the stadium is jumping up and down. But you would see that in American college. 100% you'd see that.
Do you know what that reminds me of? And it sounds silly, but it's like a Roman, like the gladiators. There's the pit. Everyone. I mean, look how packed that is.
EuroLeague is back.
Absolutely stacked. But I would love to see that. Something
I
like
can't
that.
believe you
in the UK.
just said NBA isn't the best league.
I don't think it has the best quality.
Wow.
I tell you what, I'm going to promote another podcast here, and I'm sure he won't mind. But if you haven't heard podcasts I think it is Podcast P. It's Paul George's podcast.
How
The P podcast.
dare you? You're promoting another podcast on our podcast.
He's recently.
How dare you, Mark?
I think he's well known enough. He won't mind. But on his podcast, he chats with. It's not DeMar DeRozan. I can't think of who it was now. But he has an interview and he says to them about players and the quality of some of the players in the league. And he's like, yeah, you've got X amount of percentage that are good, and then you've got a serious amount of people in the league who are not that good because they get to the NBA and then they're like, now I've made it, and they kind of sit back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can get that. And also you've got other people who are bench fillers, or your role is purely here to give him a rest for 2 or 3 minutes. And you don't have to be great. You just have to give him a rest because he's the main guy. So.
I'm only laughing because I was talking to a few guys on Saturday, actually, and we were talking about bench players and stuff like that. And it just brought back a memory. And I remember there was this guy I played with once. I mean, we're going back a decade, and this was like NBL Div 2. And I was sat on the bench, and he was just moaning, just going, I want more court time, just moaning, like a lot of basketball players do. I went, shut up, man. Like, you got courtside seats to NBL Div 2. Like, think of it like that. And it didn't go down well. He just wanted to play. But again, that was the mentality. I was thinking, right, I'm sat on the bench here. Brilliant. But just different mentalities, wasn't it?
Yeah. Although, if you've NBA wise, if you have got it and someone says, right, you're drafted in the NBA, you're like, yes, I've made it. And then it's like year 2 and you're still warming the pine. You think,
I've got courtside seats in the NBA games.
I mean, look, they're getting paid all right, but at the same time, it's like you've got to I'm not saying the winner's circle, but you've got to that point. But now it's like, no, I want to get out there and show myself. I want to play.
Do it.
I'm here to play. I'm not here to sit there. But it was interesting. He was saying how there's lots of people who sit back and then actually they're, I won't say trash players, but because they're not hungry for it anymore, their basketball skills and the time and everything they put into it just sort of falls off because they maybe find a place or find a niche and they're like, this is what you got to do.
Well, I think they should appreciate they got courtside seats, Mark. That's the point I'm making.
Well, yeah, there is that.
So, is that what you're pressing?
I think I will be pressing that, yeah.
Okay, I won't press it just yet then.
No.
Okay.
But that was your 5. You got a +1 for me?
I've actually given you 6. I've given you 6. The last one was Sky Sports and the next game that's happening on Friday. Live. London Lions versus Cheshire Phoenix. Well,
I think that was nicely wraps up anyway. But overall, this week, what have you felt from the basketball? Don't go there.
What I have felt this week,
yes,
from the basketball. Well, like I said, but great week. Great to see Sheffield get off to a winning start on their home court. The Leicester Riders and Newcastle, Ryan Thomas kicking off. That was great. And then the London Lions taking on Manchester with, Nick Magic Lewis doing that pass down to legend Robertson.
Are you any closer to a team yet?
For the dunk.
Any closer?
Mark, I support the sport.
Fence.
I support the league.
On the fence.
I support the league. There are a couple of teams that I'm warming to, but genuinely, I would like to watch the teams live. I'd like to go there and sit there and go. I mean, I reckon before Christmas, I think I'm going to see 3 live games.
Yep.
I would like to be there and go, you know what? It could be the mascot comes and you go, that is a quality mascot. I'm hooked. A bit like Orlando Magic. It could be something like a player, is just very cool, and you start and you look at that player, idolize him and go, okay, I'm going to support you, in turn support the team. What could be the atmosphere, the crowd, the arena, whatever it is, it will happen, and I'll be off.
Yeah.
I might have 3 teams.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, for me, I've really enjoyed it, and I've loved watching. Do you know what? This week I only watched one game in its entirety. The rest of the stuff I watched the highlights because I was watching some previous games from last week.
How dare you?
I know. But I was just trying to get back in the last couple of weeks and just, I want to say, get a feel for some of the players and some of the people to stand out like you. I'm trying to sort of feel my way through the league a little bit. But I'd say one or two takebacks from this week have been, the standard of basketball still keeps surprising me. Yeah, and not being rude to any of the players or anything like that, but it's really exciting basketball to watch.
Yeah,
it's not just this is we've just thrown a league together sort of thing. It really is a high standard of basketball.
Especially if you're watching Nick Magic Lewis. Hey, the only reason I just laughed a second ago when you were talking, you know what would push me over the edge? And here's an example.
Imagine a family show.
Imagine Magic Lewis sent me one of his number 93 jerseys.
No one's going to send you a jersey.
I'd go, there you go.
No one's sending you a jersey.
There you go.
Why would you want
that's what I mean. Jersey? Something will happen and you'll go, yeah,
Well, yeah.
That connection.
It could do. I don't think Nick's going to send you a jersey, but you never know.
Can you please refer him to as Magic?
Magic.
I don't know if he's got a nickname, but Magic's a good one from what I saw.
Would you like a sock from him?
Yeah, or a pair would be better.
Okay. A pear? Well, not an apple. A banana.
Right.
Dad jokes. But I would say I am a bit sceptical about the whole Sky thing. That's my only worry thing at the moment.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see it pushed a little bit more.
I'd like to see it pushed more.
Sky News stuff.
And also,
even if it was like a 5-minute section.
If you can remember what happened with when Sky took over the Formula One from the BBC, that was quite a change.
Yeah.
And when they did do that, I won't say Sky did a bad job, but maybe the handling of that transition was quite tough. And the main reason was because on BBC there was no paywall. It's exactly the same as on YouTube. There's no paywall. If you want to watch a game, you can watch a game. Now it's going to be on Sky. Well, I don't have Sky, so how am I going to watch it? I'm going to go YouTube. Okay. So what's changed for me? So it's for the BBL to get bigger, because at the moment, you hit it on it earlier, all of the teams in the BBL are local. They're basically local teams and with local supporters. Whereas if you go to EuroLeague, NBA, anywhere like that, you'll get someone who lives in Atlanta who supports Boston. Yeah? Whereas you're less likely to have someone, unless they've moved in the UK, we're more of a village sort of scenario.
Root for where you're from kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's because of our football sort of heritage. So people do the same thing in the sports because that's how we're aligned. So a lot of the teams are small market, except for one or two, as you've talked about, and they are the ones that make that difference.
But look, let's face it, like Man City, they have got a very wide fan base. It's not just people from London who are supporting Man City and Man United.
Oh, no, of course. But what I'm saying is that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's the step that they need to take.
I'd like to see the highlights that I'm watching online. I would love to see that on like a 5-minute segment on Sky Sports. That would be amazing.
I have a theory. Imagine if every basketball game was free to go and watch 1 week. Your local BBL team, it was free to go watch.
It's not that much, Mark.
No. I'm not saying it is. But the caveat is you're not allowed to go if you've seen a basketball game before.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
So imagine everyone who's in there.
What if in an alternative world?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what they need to do. They need to get fresh blood in, because all the people who watch it obviously still watch it, or they're local teams, or they know someone who plays, or when we had Ryan on, people who are invested in the clubs and stuff, they've had children or siblings or whatever, or their families coach, or there's always people surrounding. That's where basketball's sort of step. How do you get it into the mainstream?
Have you looked at the cost of season tickets and stuff yet?
They're not that crazy.
They're nothing. well, I say nothing, but you can go watch top basketball.
A
I
family
want to
ticket.
say £15. It was something like that.
A family
You can get
ticket
a
was
season ticket for around £200.
Yeah.
And that. I don't want to say the team just in case I'm crossing the line. I don't think I am.
No.
Just in case. But that was one of the top teams.
What's the team?
I don't want to say.
Why?
But it was £220 for a season ticket.
Oh, really?
And I looked at it and went, you know what? When Pompey were in the Premier League and I had a season ticket with them, it was £720.
Wow.
And then, you've got the top league in Britain and it's 220.
How many?
I think
How many
no
home
brainer.
games? How many home games?
So what is it? You play everyone 3 times or something like that, isn't it? Or twice? I can't remember.
Okay.
Or 4 times? I
So you
don't know.
So you might get like 18 home games. or something.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I'd have to look at last year's. It's 36 games they play, isn't it? So you're playing everyone 4 times. So you got 20 home games.
That's
at
all right.
least.
Yeah.
So a season ticket. You know what? That's nothing, is it really?
No, for a really good night out.
But yeah.
All right. Well,
Right.
that was a good one. Enjoyed that. So as always, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Not you. You're always here. But thank you so much for listening. If you haven't listened to some of our other shows, go back and have another listen because we've got like 21 shows going on now.
Wow.
Yeah, and lots of people are listening just like you. But thank you so much for joining us this week. We've got some more coming up next week on the BBL and some other interviews coming, so stay tuned on this channel. Till next time, thank you for listening, wherever you are and whatever you've been up to. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Also, please get rid of all badminton ones. Thank you.